And that is the myth, and I deal with that a lot. But again, that's what I tell all my clients. I mean, you got to get with an agent who does a lot of business and someone who can get creative and go out and find those resources from you. Just because one person tells you no doesn't mean it's not doable. I mean, we can get someone on a 30-year note or get them, minimum down payment. But again, you just got to get with an agent that does a lot of business, quite frankly, and has those connections for you.
Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin, Dubuc,
David, Nguyen,
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. Hey, today, guys and gals, we got somebody hailing from up north. Dave, who'd you bring along today?
I got Duke Lipsky from Northeast Arkansas. He's part of a father-son team that is doing great things in real estate out there. Duke, what's going on, man?
How are you guys doing? Happy to be here. Appreciate you guys having me on today.
Absolutely, brother. Glad to have you here and super excited to hear a little bit about your story. So father and son team, how long have you guys been doing real estate up there?
So my father's been in it for quite some time now. I'm not really sure on the years. He's pretty much been doing it a majority of my life. But so I went to college here in the town, and I've been in real estate. This is going on close to my 8th year. So I've been in it for 7 years now. Got my license in college, kind of got my feet wet. And then he's been the top producing agent in our market over the last several years. And as a team, we've been the top producing agents the last 3 years in our market now.
So you had really no choice but to take over the family business, huh? Was there even a choice?
I had no choice. No, there was no choice. Baby. Absolutely not.
I love it. So
outside of real estate, we're also big investors in our town. So a lot of property management, any real estate aspect, we've got it covered.
That's killer, man. That's killer. So, your dad's been doing this for a long time. You said you were kind of born into it. So were you out, showing houses, when you were a kid, or did you have any interest when you were growing up?
Oh yeah, I was always with Dad going to showings, and that's what's really interested me at a really young age. And what a lot of people, they see the success that we have now. It's from day one. Me as a real estate agent, I was showing 20 houses a week, so I was kind of just thrown into the fire. You learn as you go. He didn't care if I screwed it up or not. I was in there, guns blazing. So got a lot of. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the best way. Sometimes just getting thrown to the wolves, right? Especially when you have a good mentor. Yeah. In this case, your mentor being your father, right? That can help guide you through and say, okay, you messed this up, but it's okay. We're going to get through this because, we've already got a great reputation out here. Folks know who you were. And now, you guys are working together as a team. Your business is thriving. And, that's one of the main reasons we wanted to have you guys here on the show because, again, you guys are doing some big things in the industry in a market where not everybody else is having success. And, some folks always look at that and they go, man, they were overnight. We know that's not overnight. What'd that journey look like, right? How'd you guys build the business that you have today?
Really hard work. I mean, a lot of people say that, this happens for you so fast, but they really don't see all the legwork and what goes on behind the scenes. My father, he really doesn't have a whole lot of hobbies. His hobby is work. If we go on vacation, we're looking at real estate. So it's a 24/7 job for us. I know a lot of people, they have all these different methods. Our method is work the system. Hard work. If you hammer it every single day and be consistent, you're going to get results. I don't care who you are.
That's awesome. So do you focus more on buy side, list side, a little bit of both, right? What's that product mix look like?
So predominantly the buy side. Again, this is my almost 8th year. I've been in it 7 years. So I've predominantly always worked with buyers, and I help a lot of people that I went to college with start investment portfolios and kind of help them manage it. But over the last couple of years, obviously, once you work with buyers for the first 7 years, I'm going to have some sellers, but predominantly my dad, since he's been in the business for so long, he deals with majority of I'd say 90% of all the selling side, and I work with most all of the buying side.
I love that. Now, you mentioned something about investment and portfolios, and I love to explore that because you've got a lot of folks out there that really don't understand how to create real estate wealth. And obviously, you guys are experts at it, right? You've been doing this for a long time, 8 years for you. Your dad's been doing it your entire life. Talk about that a little bit, right? Somebody that wants to get into investing, let's talk in Arkansas in general, right? How does that work, right? How do you scout out the right property? How do you figure out how to get that managed so that you're not having to go out there and do all the maintenance on that stuff? What's that look like? And what's a healthy investment portfolio look like?
Well, Well, that's a great question. There's a whole lot of different ways that I could answer. That's a very loaded question, but really for the right client, you really just got to sit down and find out what their goals are, whether they want to get into single family, multifamily, commercial, or are they going to want to manage the property? Are they going to want someone else to manage the property? What their risk tolerance is? I mean, there's so many different factors that go into it, but in our market in Northeast Arkansas, we've really been very blessed. We're kind of like in a bubble, as we like to say. It's a college town. We've got the medical industry. We have Riceland, Tyson, Nestle, two huge hospitals. So there's just a lot of growth going on in our communities, and it's a very strong rental community as well, with it being a college town. So I really focus on single family, and whether that be renting to college kids and then renting them out by the room, charging $500 a room or $600 a room. It's really the only way that I've been able to make it work with the interest rates. If you're buying a $220,000 house and you can rent out a 4-bedroom house for, $500 a piece, that's $2,000 a month. So you could get some sort of cash flow while we're waiting to refinance. But single family, we get great appreciation in our market. Like I said, there's so much new construction going on everywhere. So single family really has blessed us. We do some multifamily apartments, and then we dabble in a little bit of commercial. But again, as far as clients getting into the investment game, it's really just having a conversation and just seeing what their goals are and what they're expecting.
That's awesome. Well, and the one thing that and we know this too, is year over year equity, building in homes. Last year, this time we saw a 6.6% increase across the United States, right, in equity being built year over year. The month before that, it was 7.9%. And that's something that not a lot of people take into consideration. But, when you go back and look at the history of real estate and how, homes have appreciated, there's only been 7 markets in the last 8 decades, right? That's 80 years where homes have actually depreciated in value. And it's only happened twice within a decade, right? So what does that tell you? That means that when you're investing in real estate, you have a 91.75% chance that you're going to gain equity in that home. And what is that? That becomes wealth, right? That's wealth through real estate.
Right, of course.
So, Duke, when you're talking about, having the foresight to get out there and teach these individuals how to create those real estate investments, the piece of knowledge that is the likelihood of them ever losing with real estate. It's a really minimum risk. Tell me anywhere else that you can go out and invest money and know that you got a 91.75% chance the money's going to grow.
I mean, you really can't, and that's why I love real estate so much. I mean, you can leverage your properties, you can leverage that equity, and a lot of people, they may like the stock market. I dabble in the stock market a little bit, but at the same time, I like to be able to drive and touch that piece of property, see where my money's actually going. I don't want to wake up and then all of a sudden, hey, where'd my money go? And then it's like, yes, you can make money in stocks, but you make money when you actually sell. And when you sell, you're getting taxed on that money. That's another great thing about real estate that I love so much is the tax benefits that come along with it.
That's right.
So you get appreciation, you get depreciation, you can get cash flow. I mean, you can get management. There's all sorts of different fees that you can get with owning real estate. In my opinion, there's no better gate than real estate.
Oh, you share the same opinion as we do over here, brother. And I think the opinion of the masses. We did a great podcast with an agent down in Gainesville, and she was talking about the real estate investment, for new college students. And one of the things that she was talking about, and I think this is a home run. I bet you do the same thing. Is a lot of times you'll have these parents that are trying to set up their children for financial success, and so instead of coming in and leasing out that $500 room for their college student, they'll come in and purchase the home for their college student, lease out those other rooms to their peers, right? And now they're actually building real estate wealth while their children are attending college, so that once they graduate, they've got a nice little nest egg of equity that's been built up, and their peers have been the ones that have been paying the rent, right? Is that something that you do up there in Arkansas as well?
It's funny that you say that. I just left a closing probably 45 minutes ago. Exact situation. I mean, I sell a lot of homes to people. The kids come into Arkansas State. They may call about a rental. We own a lot of rental properties, so they may either call about a rental, call about a particular house. Again, we can buy that house, put them in one room, rent out the other 2 rooms, other 3 rooms. And next thing you know, the appreciation that we get, and their kid goes to school here for 4 years. They've paid down the note. They've been cash flowing each month, and then all of a sudden, $50,000 they can sell, and their kid just lived for free and potentially even made money in those 4 years.
We're paid for that
most
education.
Definitely, like I said about 45 minutes ago, it just had that exact situation happen. It happened.
Hey, I love it, man.
Hey, Duke, what university is that?
Arkansas State University.
Arkansas State, okay.
Well, and another thing that we know, is in reference to getting qualified for the mortgage on those properties. What a lot of people don't realize is that as a parent of a college student, you can purchase another home for your college student as a primary residence and not have to put down a big chunk of change. And I think a lot of people look at that and they go, but I don't have this big 20% down payment to be able to purchase a property for my college student. You don't need it. You don't need it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You can do this with this little 3.5.
And that is a myth, and I deal with that a lot. But again, that's what I tell all my clients. I mean, you got to get with an agent who does a lot of business and someone who can get creative and go out and find those resources from you. Just because one person tells you no doesn't mean it's not doable. I mean, we can get someone on a 30-year note or get them, minimum down payment. But again, you just got to get with an agent that does a lot of business, quite frankly, and has those connections for you.
So, Duke, I talked to your dad quite a bit, and when's he going to pass the baton and retire? Because I don't think he's ever going to retire.
I don't think he'll ever retire. He deals with a lot of property management right now, and again, he's got some sellers, but he loves it. I mean, it's just in his blood. We love what we do. Organized chaos. I mean, that's just what we thrive in. So I really don't see us ever slowing down.
Well, and that's what I want to talk about. Originally, whenever I called, I talked to him, and he kind of said, "Hey, I'm passing the baton to Duke because of just the industry and the marketing and everything else is changing. Though Facebook is becoming more relevant. YouTube, the marketing, the way you market to Gen Z and millennials, it's the largest generation out there of buying right now. It used to be the baby boomers, right? Your dad's generation. They're fading away. Not when I say fading away, they're not the largest consumers anymore of goods. The largest consumer of goods in the United States now are Gen Z and baby boomers. That's why you see all these big corporations starting to adjust to them. Apple, Sony, and all those. Same thing in real estate. They're the biggest buyers between the ages of 25 and 35. Are you marketing to them any different, or is just business as usual?
Not really so much. Not any different. I do post on social media quite a bit. I have Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. I do some videos, but I'd say Facebook is probably my biggest social media platform.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I think you're smart. We call it octopus marketing. That's where you're reaching out, in all different directions, right? At the end of the day, an octopus has 8 arms. And, if you're making sure that you're doing a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there, you're going to reach markets all over the place. And that's how you create a successful business. A lot of people don't realize that, and it's not just the social media. We'd love to say, hey, these videos are what bring the business. I would say, if I had to ask, I'm going to tell you where we get most of our business is good old fashioned phone work. What do you find on your end, when creating success? Are you just waiting for these clients to outreach through the videos you're putting out, or how do you guys find the biggest success?
Well, that's a great question. I'm kind of the exact same as you guys. I hammer the phone. I mean, anywhere from at least 50 to 100 phone calls a day. That's really where I got a lot of my success. Again, we do some outsourcing of leads. So I make sure I get every penny out of the leads. I work the leads. And again, since I started hammering the phone, my business really picked up. So I'm a big believer in getting on the phone every single day.
Let's talk about that. The number one team in Northeast Arkansas, and you've been in the business 8 years, and all I heard was you said, I hammer the phone 50 to 150 calls a day. Yeah. That's the secret sauce right there.
So day one, like I said, I was thrown to the fire. My dad, he would sit me down right in front of him, and I'm like, oh, I can't make calls in front of you. Like, I get embarrassed. He's like, I promise you, if you can't do it in front of me, I don't want you messing up clients. So he would give me a database on what we call our trash leads, people not buying. He told me, I will not let you touch my database until you can convert at least 5 of these leads. So we would just sit down, and he would just make me hammer these phone calls, and I hated him at the time. Like, I couldn't stand it, but looking back now, I had a fear of the phone starting out like a lot of people do. Yep. But again, just after repetition, consistency, it really, really paid off.
Well, you know what we call that? We call that getting pushed into your comfort zone. A lot of folks in the beginning, they look at it as this is outside of my comfort zone. I've got call reluctance. But what you find when you start really transitioning into these calls and getting deeper into the process, right, of creating the success, it was your comfort zone all along. You just didn't know it yet. And your dad did.
Right.
He had the foresight to say, hey, if you do this, and
Right.
you're going to build success. And at the end of the day, here you are 8 years later, and you're bringing in your own production now. And it's because of those efforts. And it's because he had the foresight to say, nope, you're doing it. And you can't touch the good list until you get some business out of the bad list, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
He didn't want me messing up on the good list. He didn't care what I did with the bad list.
So are y'all, is it just you and your dad, or do y'all have more people, other realtors on your team, or?
So it's just me and my dad, pretty much. We work for a firm that has several agents, but it's just me and him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for just you and him, you guys are cranking out an awful lot of high amount of business.
100 plus transactions a year for the longest time.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And that's the thing is that I wanted to ask you where you get that business, because we do have agents that watch this podcast, and you've got agents out there that are looking for, well, why am I not having the success? And they're like, I'm doing the videos, I'm on the social media. Are you picking up the phone and making the phone calls? Right. Let me ask you this.
Exactly. And that's really what it comes down to. And just because they say no today doesn't mean they're going to say no tomorrow. So you got to get just rid of the fear of. Exactly. You have to get rid of the fear of rejection. I promise you, the people who actually do their follow-ups and they stay consistent on that phone, I don't care if you call 300 people, you're just looking for that one. You're always one phone call away.
It's 16%, is what we found. 16% of the people that we reach out to are going to want to do business with us. The other 84, those aren't our people. And that's okay, right? But you got to be comfortable with knowing that out of the 100% you're calling, only 16% are probably going to tell you yes, and actually end up doing business with you. Because what we know is people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And you know what? Quite frankly, we can't be friends with everybody, right? We'd like to, right? We'd like to think, our egos tell us, why did that other 84% want to do business with me, right? And that's where a lot of people get stuck, but the folks that have the strong mindset go, no, I'm only looking for 16%. That's all that's actually going to end up doing business with me. So I've got to make enough phone calls to make that happen. Now, let me ask you this. And I know you said you guys started out on a list. So I'm a new agent out there, and I want to close over 100 transactions a year. And we know that doesn't happen overnight, right? But where do I get started, right? How do I get started? Who am I calling? Am I just picking up a phone book and making phone calls? What's that look like?
I think social media is definitely a big part. As soon as you get into the business, you got to let everyone, your sphere of influence, everyone that they have to know that you're in real estate. When they think real estate, you have to make them think Duke Lipsky. I mean, no matter what the real estate may be, you have to put it out there where you're showing them every single day that that's what you do for a living. And also, I think getting a mentor, getting someone in your office, maybe just getting someone to give you access to a list. Maybe you go to someone and try to be an assistant, just try to get referrals from people, and you may split that with them. But like I said, a lot, just starting out, you really just need a social media presence and marketing, but your marketing is only as good as your skill set. So really, truthfully, I think you really need to work on your skill set before you put your advertisement out everywhere. I know I just kind of contradicted myself there, but you can be on that billboard.
Yeah,
I know you can be on that billboard, and you can have somebody call you, but when they call you and you don't know what to say, what good did that really do? So your skill set, you really just need to work on yourself, work on just knowledge, find out everything that you can. If you know you're going to do this for a living, just research it and just study it as much as you can and try to be the best that you can be. And then that's really all you can do. If you do that, you're consistent, hard work, you're going to get results eventually.
You nailed it. Hard work and consistency, but there was something else you put out there, and we talked about it at the beginning. We talk about it again. Find a good mentor. Find somebody that can mentor you, find somebody that can help give you those building blocks, find somebody who can give you that bad list that they don't mind you making some terrible calls on, right? And just the consistency of making those phone calls is what's going to build up your confidence so that you can start having great phone calls. The mentor's going to help polish those skills for you. And then once you get to the point where your skill set's polished enough that you can start presenting the world who you are, now let's get out there on social media. Let's get out there and let's make sure that everybody knows who I am and what I do. Dave, we call that the origin story, right?
Yeah. We call that the origin story. Again, the advice to everybody is, I think we're arrogant enough to think that everybody knows what I do for a living. If they're friends with me on Facebook, they should know what I do for a living. That's our arrogance. If you call them and go, hey, do you know what I do for a living? Only a percentage of them will do. They say that when you get in real estate, you're supposed to call everybody on your phone just to reach out and go, hey, I'm in real estate now, by the way. Do you have any friends, family members, or coworkers? And let them know that, how often that rarely happens though, right? So yeah.
Rarely, very rarely.
Yeah. So
it seems like a lot of people are just scared of the unknown, of something that they may be asked and stumped. They can't really even have a conversation because they're so worried about in defense mode of what they may be asked that they don't know. So,
right.
You know what I found on that, Duke? Is because I've been in the industry for 24 years now, and I certainly started off in that same position that you're talking about, the ask of the unknown. And when you align yourself with a mentor, somebody that can help answer those questions, the way that I found the best way to answer that is, you know what? I don't know, but I'm going to get you the answer to that question. Let's move on. Let's talk about a couple other things, and I'll get back to you within the next 2 hours, and I'll give you the answer. And you know what I would do as soon as I get off the phone with them? I'd find out the answer within the next 10 minutes. I'd call them right back, and I'd give them the answer, and they go, man, that was quick. You said 2 hours. Well,
yes, because most definitely. No, that's a great point.
And over deliver. Right?
That's a great point. And I think a lot of people are always scared to say, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. I would rather you say I don't know than give a wrong answer and lose all credibility. So
that's it.
Again, like you just said, is if you tell them that you're going to find something out, actually go find it out.
Yeah, you got to you got to come through with the goods, right?
Yeah.
You can't sell the bill of sale and not deliver. And that's the thing we always talk about. And this one thing I think is key number one in sales: under promise, over deliver 100% of the time. Even if you know you can do something faster, 100%. Promise them a later date and then come through way quicker, because at the end of the day, now they look at you like a superstar and they know they can trust you. And what we know is that trust is built in small kept promises. Right? It's those little promises that we make. When we come through and we complete those, that's where we start to build the trust in our consumers, build the trust in our followers, build the trust in the people that we're working with. And as a result of that, over time, you build this great reputation that you have today. And I promise you, you built a lot of small kept promise trust in the beginning of your business to where you are today, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
So, hey, Duke, I got a question for you. I like to ask this question a lot to see how you got started. You've been in the business 8 years. Of all the transactions you've been involved in, what's that one transaction that you did that said, hey, man, this is why I'm in the business. This is why I'm a realtor?
Yeah, we always want to go to one, right? If you've got a lot.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I know
your brain's going, well, I love it when I help a client do this. No, we want you to go back to like you did this and you were like, man, I love this business because of this, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's really it comes down to always helping people. Again, I had a mentor. I had someone that was doing exactly what I wanted to do and kind of had someone to shadow. So my dad, owning a lot of rental property, what we have done in the past, and we've helped so many different families. Yeah. Let's say that they're moving in from out of town and they're building a house and it won't be done for 6 months. We can put them in one of our rentals. And let them live there for 6 months. Or if a house deal falls through, being able to put them up somewhere. Or just clients coming in from out of state, coming to look at the college, whether I be going or whether I go and video high schools, restaurants, things to do in the area. Just the little minor details that come along with it. Just helping someone from another state who's never actually been to Arkansas, whether they're moving here further. We have the steel capital of the world right now, about 30 minutes where I am in Northeast Arkansas. So a lot of people moving in from out of state, coming to work at these steel mills. They've never been to Arkansas before. So just doing different video tours and just showing them the town, videoing schools, just giving a little insight, just really helping those families out and putting them at ease. That makes you feel good when you've done a great job.
Pretty awesome there. And I'm going to get back to that, but I still got to get back to the one moment that you will back to and go, it was helping this family that made me realize I wanted to follow in Dad's footsteps, right? Do you remember a specific scenario where you're like, man, I really love this because I helped this family do this?
Was there a transaction that you were involved in?
So I had a couple that found their dream house, absolutely loved it. It was a very hot market right after COVID when things were going way over asking price. And if you were putting in a contingent offer, throw it out the window. It just wasn't getting accepted because every house had 10 bids on it. We had one where this couple that I had known them was a lovely couple, great friends of mine. They found this house. It was their dream home. They wanted it, but they had a house they had to sell. Yeah. So we ended up buying their house for cash just so they could buy their dream home, and been great friends ever since. You could really tell we did them a huge favor, and then we still have that home. But really just their appreciation for what we did for them in that particular transaction really meant a lot to me.
Brother, that's awesome. That's awesome because you're making dreams come true. And you're right. That was a tough time in mortgage, whether it was a great time, right? We had a lot of sales. We had a lot of money. Everybody did really well in the industry. Man, when you were trying to help those underdogs, the families that really deserved a home, there were a lot of opportunities that were missed because of that, right? Hey, you need to have cash. You need to come over with a strong bid. You can't have FHA or government financing because they're not going to look at that. And you definitely can't have a contingent sale. And you guys found a way to lead those folks, to their dream home. And that's amazing. And that goes back to something you said a minute ago. And this is huge. And I know not all agents have the ability to do this, but because of the fact that you guys have built a really strong portfolio of real estate, you guys, that's such a pro tip. Hey, have a rebound opportunity for your consumer if something happens to fall through. And what you said is, hey, we've got all these other rental properties out here that if something were to happen and they're not able to get that financing completed or they can't get into that home, hey, let's pull an audible, right? Hey, I've got these.
Right. We can put you somewhere. We're going to make sure you're taken care of. We'll put you up somewhere. Again, and we started a program after that because it worked out so well. That was our slogan. List your home with me. I'll make you a guaranteed cash offer. So if you want another house that you want to buy, we'll make you a cash offer on your house so you can buy that house and not have to worry about listing it, dealing with any of the fees and worry about it not selling. And we've done a lot of business that way.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of folks are going to say, well, I don't have the capital to do that today. But you know what? That doesn't matter because when you're in an industry like this one, it's about planting seeds, right? And so what is a planting the seed? Planting the seed is start buying your investment properties now. Get one, right? Go out there and buy that first one and start building the equity on that one so you can start to build more. And in 20 years from now you've got a great proposition that you can offer your consumers, and you've got a whole heck of a lot of real estate wealth in the background. And I think that's where a lot of folks in this industry, they look at, I want to make money today. Well, that's great. If you want to make money today, go sell some hot dogs on the corner, right?
Exactly. That's not how it works.
You got to look at what am I going to do in 90 days? What am I going to do in 6 months? Where am I going to be in 1 year? Where am I going to be in 5 years? Hey, what's that 20-year plan look like? And when you start to think about that, that's how you build wealth, right? Because at the end of the day, we know that there's going to be wealth in this industry. The question is, do you have the perseverance and the mindset and the planning to be able to make those dreams come true? You guys have built some amazing stuff. I appreciate you sharing all that because we've done a lot of these podcasts and we've talked to a lot of great agents across the U.S. And you just taught me something that I've never heard anybody else say. This is one of the things that we do and offer. Man, hats off to you and your dad for building these opportunities and helping homeowners find homeownership, brother. That's awesome. Seriously, that is epic. I've never heard.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, that's killer stuff, man. So, what do you do in your free time, man? Do you have free time? He
calls a dad Smith now. He doesn't have free time.
Not really.
Yeah.
Well, before I got married, I had a little bit more free time on my hands. I live on a golf course, so I wouldn't call myself a golfer, but I'll play a couple times a year. I'm definitely not a golfer, but I enjoy to play when I can.
Yeah.
I'm an avid duck hunter. Duck hunting. So Arkansas is the duck capital of the world. Huge hunting state, the natural state, it's the rice capital of the world. So obviously, great hunting where I'm at. Northeast Arkansas, we're just an hour away from just about anywhere that you want to go hunting. So I'm an avid duck hunter in the wintertime, which that's slowed down a little bit ever since I've gotten a little older and got married. But that's pretty much it. Duck hunting and then golf when I can and then real estate. But again, I truly do love what I do, so it's not really even like a job. I mean, I know you hear people say that, and it sounds cliche, but I really, really enjoy what I do, and that's why we do so well, and that's why it keeps me so busy. So.
Well, I tell people all the time, everybody wants to get into real estate, whether it's on the mortgage side or the realtor side, because of the freedom and the financial freedom and all the money that you make supposedly. But what they don't understand is the top-notch people in the real estate are working 7 days a week. Yeah. your phone never turns off. I tell people all the time, you set your own hours. Now, if you have to be at a family function or something like that, you go to it, but you come back and turn back the phone and work at nights and weekends and everything else. I don't know anybody.
Yep. Everybody wants to be, everybody wants to be the top dog. Everybody wants to be the man until it comes time to do what the man actually has to do.
Heavy wears the
throne. And I learned that the hard way as well. So.
Yeah, heavy wears the crown, right? No,
it's not as glorious as people may think.
It's not. It's really not.
I want to do that, but come walk in the shoes.
That's it. No, success comes with a price tag, right? And it means every single day you're going to wake up and do the things that it takes to make it happen, you know? And a lot of folks don't realize that, you know, you're going to be held accountable, right? There's going to be daily disciplines. There's going to be things you don't want to do, but you're going to have to do it because it's part of the process, right? So I love that you said that
100%.
Because, you know, again, there's a lot of folks out there that go, man, I want the success, but they don't know what comes behind that. There's a lot of hard work and dedication that makes that come to light. So I heard you say you're married, kids?
No kids.
No kids.
No kids yet. My wife, she's in school right now. She's in CRNA school, which is some sort of anesthesia. She's got 3 more years of school left. So we're trying to put kids off on the back burner until she gets done with school.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, she's definitely she's over there getting that big education. That's awesome, man. So just building successes everywhere you guys go. I love it, brother. I love it. Well, Dave, anything? I know we can't keep him here all day. Anything else you wanted to ask Duke before we wrap this thing up today?
No, I think I'm good, Duke. Before we let you go, is there anything that we didn't discuss today that you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so. I think you guys just about covered everything.
Awesome, man.
I think you about covered everything. You guys are doing some pretty awesome stuff up there. And again, you know, we talk to top tier people literally every single day. And you taught me something that I'd never heard before. I'd never heard of somebody buying the properties and helping people, you know, get into homes. That's amazing, guys. If you're looking for a property up there in Northeast Arkansas, you know, Duke and his father, you know, they're here to take care of you and they're going to get you into a home no matter what, right? Which I love that, brother. When the folks out there want to find you, what all area do you guys cover? What's the location map for that?
If it can be bought or sold in the entire state of Arkansas, we can help you with it. We're based out of Northeast Arkansas, but I do a lot of transaction in Central Arkansas. Really, if it can be bought or sold, we can help you with it. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. My cell phone number, 870-295-0553, and you can follow me on all social medias. It's just Duke Lipsky.
Mr. Arkansas Duke Lipsky. I love it, brother. I love it. Hey, and look for all that information down there across the screen. It should be coming across right now if you're watching the video. If you're not watching the video and you're listening on the podcast, check the description. We'll make sure that we've got all of Duke's details in there. You're going to want to reach out to these guys. They're definitely killing the game.
Oh, yeah.
Just killing the game.
If you're in Arkansas, I'm calling Duke and his dad.
So good stuff. Well, Duke, we appreciate you coming on the show today, and thank you so much for being here. Guys, we're your Real Estate Success Partners. I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Nguyen.
If you want to check us out, come on over to realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. Or if you want to watch the video, we think you should come on over to YouTube. You can find us there at the Dubuc Team. Also on Facebook and Instagram at the Dubuc Team. You'll be able to see that full video. And hey, please subscribe. You know, put some comments in there if you want to be on the show. We'd love to hear from you. And until the next time,
see you guys.
We'll see you then.